Hello, welcome to part 9 of my go-kart build. The most boring part, the floor and the seat. Yeah, not going to be fun or exciting. So, my original plan was to completely cover the floor from end to end. And after getting in and out of this thing a few times, I realized it was really difficult to get in and out of it. So I decided, well, the floor doesn't have to go the whole distance. It could actually stop about here. You only need a place for your feet to rest. But then my wife said something about if you're driving over something and it comes up under the floor and you have a hole here, that it could hit the driver. So I'm going to go back to my original plan. But that means I need to make the floor support the weight of a person. So my plan is take some angle iron and put it in a couple of spots right here where you would be standing, and then just do tabs around the rest of it to hold the floor up. But that means my angle iron has to get really thin on one side. Has to get about like that. And that's not much support because I need to have this down below the top of the tube. I don't want my floor up here. I want it down basically between the tubes. And kind of worried that's not going to support anything. So I'm going to make one and then stand on it and see if it survives. Alright, let's see if it survives. Nope. Not even close. I do have heavier material, and this is unsupported, but that's not going to fly. Okay, since that failed so miserably, I had a brainwave. I'm just going to use some 1/4-inch flat bar and put it right about midpoint of the tube. There's no way you're going to bend this on a 9-inch span. That means I got to go buy material I didn't plan on. But I think I'll get some 1.5 by 1 or 1.5 by 1/4. And just do that. It'll be a lot easier to weld. It'll be a lot easier to paint. Gonna roll with it. Okay, I went and got my flat bar. It wasn't too bad. It was only about $40 for 20 feet, so that's not too bad. Alright, I'll check this before I go chopping everything up. Well, that's the way to go. Alright, something like that. I'm going to take this piece and cut it in half long ways and put it right here on each side. And yeah, that ought to work. I need to poke a bunch of holes in here. So I'll do that next. Alright, I don't think I need to add any of these up here. My heel rests like right in between this area here, and I don't think there's going to be enough pressure to push down on it to bend the floor, because you're never going to be able to stand on that spot. So I'm just going to put some tabs in, some little ones around here. So I got to make those real quick. Voila. I can just kind of like, you know, around. Something like that. Okay, before I tack all that stuff in, I'm going to go ahead and make my seat stays, so I can just do all the welding at once. Well, I was in the middle of cleaning this stuff up and I got a package. But you can tell by the length of my package what it is. New axle. This is going to be for the next project. Well, this one is. And I got an extra one. Sweet. Close. Something like that. I think I'm about ready to start welding. These guys are so short, I had to get creative with my clamping. Okay, got all those guys in. I didn't show all of it because it was super tedious. Had to do each one individually. Now I can put my seat stays in. Hope for the best on these ones. I don't have any way to clamp them. Okay, now that that's done, I gotta go look through my wood pile and see if I got a piece of lumber to use for a seat. Okay, found a piece of 3/4 inch. It's a little heavier than I planned on, but it'll just make a better seat. My plan is to land my seat right on the center of the tube all the way around here. So now it's arts and crafts time. Get to draw and cut things out. Looks like I could change my radius just a little bit. Try this again. That looks pretty close. I think I'll call that good. Alright, now I get to cover everything in dust. You know, it always helps to put your hose in the right hole. I mean, I hooked my vacuum cleaner up backwards so it's blowing everything on me. Time to use my expensive yet completely useless table. All right, now I'm really going to make a mess. Lock down my table. I'll say that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and round the back of these off so when I put my material on them, it doesn't crease the corner and try to rip. But before I do that, I'm going to mark my holes in the back so I know where I'm going to mount this thing. Okay, I'm not going to finish the seat today because I don't want to put my material on there and have it get damaged. And I was planning on using these little inserts, 1/4-inch inserts, but I'm not going to put those in yet because I got to go get more of them. So I'm just going to tap some holes, use some little screws to hold it on. All right, now that the seat is somewhat in, I can start working on the floor. See if I can make myself a template. Again, So I should have done that before I put the tabs in, but whatever. Alright, let's see if we can get a good clean cut here. I could take a little bit more right there. There we go. That's pretty close. Ended up having to make two separate templates because the two sides are not quite the same. But I think that'll be okay. Okay, I'm going to use this old road sign as my floor. No, I didn't steal it. It was probably stolen, but it wasn't by me. But it just happens to be the right length, the right thickness. Hopefully it works. It's not going to work. I have to use the skill saw. Made my own glitter bomb. It's everywhere. Now that I spent an hour cleaning up my glitter bomb, I'm going to do the rest outside. But it's raining right now, so I have to wait. You don't have to wait, but I have to wait. Okay, I got a break in the rain, so I got these cut. They're a little bit wide, so I'm going to have to grind them to fit the span, but yeah, at least I got a chance to move on. I'm going to try and get a nice straight edge on here before I put the profile on the end. It's going to be loud. As straight as I'm going to get it. Alright, I gave myself a nice straight line on this inside. So now, I'm just going to line that up. And then I'll nibble this away until I am just touching that tube. Not bad. That was a lot of trips to the grinder, but it was totally worth it. I can live with that. Alright, just drop right in there. I'm going to put some rubber tape on these tabs and the spots back here, so it doesn't sound like a snare drum when you're driving down the road. It doesn't. So I really don't want to hear that. But they turned out pretty good. Nice tight fit. I was just looking outside. Yeah, I really want spring to show up, and this keeps happening. Okay, my plan was to run my cables under the floor and just attach them to this tabs. We'll kind of go like that. So I need to make a little notch with a cable to pass through. Something like that. Alright, I'm going to call that a video. This one got a little bit long-winded for just a floor and a seat. Next video should be checking my engine, make sure it runs, and probably do an assembly and take it for a drive, because I really need to find out whether I need to fix anything. So that will probably be next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.